know, it's actually, I'm the Director of Marketing, Communications, and Technology for 4-H. So bit of a mouthful, but yeah, pretty much everything website, marketing, communications related.
So yeah, so Shane's going to start showing us the website and the navigation of it. And like I said, if you have any questions, please just go into the chat box or just unmute yourself and we'll let you ask while we're doing it.
All right, thanks, Tracy. So yeah, as I said, I'm the Director of Marketing, Communications, and Tech with 4-H, and I want to start off just by saying thank you to all of you for volunteering as leaders in the 4-H community. I haven't been a part of 4-H in terms of the roles you have, but I've been involved with coaching hockey and other minor sports for over 15 years, and I know how much time and effort goes into it. So I certainly appreciate it, and I know our youth do as well. And that also leads me to, I also know how important it is to have access to the tools and resources you need with your roles. So it's important that you have the pieces there that you need and that we're there assisting you, and try to make things as easy for you to find as possible. So we will get on to the site. So with that, and just saying, like, myself and the rest of the 4-H team are dedicated to providing those resources and tools to you that you need. And the website, of course, is one of our main driving pieces that we have to provide information for you guys and the tools you need. So a little bit about the website before I start showing it is the website is a product of many hours of consultation with the 4-H community. We created a website and we had a committee that was developed with a diverse group. We had 4-H leaders, members, alumni, staff, along with myself and a really talented website developer. And we really worked through, we took the feedback from the 4-H community on what they wanted, how they wanted to navigate. And, you know, we used that to build into the site. So it definitely wasn't a top down. It wasn't myself or 2-3 of us deciding what the site was going to look like. It really came from the 4-H community. So I thank everybody on the committee that was a part of that helped us build it up. To let you know, I mean, the Ontario 4-H, I think they've been working on their website. I heard it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 to 15 months to get their website up and changed and done. So with the changeover in the new company, or with the new organization of 4-H Alberta, we had to move much quicker than that. So as everybody knows, we actually developed the website from concept to completion in just under 3 months. So it was quite a turnaround and quite a feat to get it done in that time. And so, you know, the whole idea is we started off with the input and feedback. We got it up and functioning, and we made it as clean and navigable as possible, and based on the feedback. So overall, so far, the feedback's been very positive. I will say the goal of the site is that it makes it easy for you to navigate and it's content rich without being daunting. Anybody that was on the old, on the site that was previously there run by government section, it's a monster. There's a lot of pages. I think, you know, there's over 700 different files and content. So if we were to try and bring everything over, it would just be essentially unmanageable. So we are working through it, and we'll go through things on the website, the main page, how to navigate some of the areas, and how to search. And then, as Tracy said, any questions pop up in the chat, or, you know, we can take some questions after as well. All right. Okay, so we'll do a quick screen share here. Okay, everybody sees it. It's up there okay? All right, so this is the 4-H page. So it's obviously the home page where you come in, and we'll see. Oh, here. Some in a minute. As you can see up here, there's main menus that are navigable up here in terms of your home screen, downloads, sign in, which takes you to the online registration system, and then the contact. So those are kind of the 4 main pieces we felt were important to have, easy to connect to, the main things that you're typically looking for, which is downloads, sign into the ORS, or to contact somebody at 4-H. Under that, all of these menus here are navigable. This is kind of your navigation area where you might go to find, you know, different areas as leaders, leader programs, training, screening, awards, trips, key leader section, club fundraisers. So obviously as leaders, this section is going to be very important to you. So we try to put everything there nice and easy for you to find. Before we go into different pages on here and kind of navigating through, the main page, really we want it to be welcoming and to be kind of content rich and full of information. So it's fairly long without trying to be too long, but we have some key areas here to get into, which is programs, calendar, projects, or your region. And if we scroll down through the main, again, there's the welcome, different club registration checklists, things that people might be looking for when they first come on to 4-H. How to register for a program, different project ideas if someone's looking to find out what is 4-H or what kind of projects, latest things on there. And the biggest piece is staying connected, the latest news and events. So we wanted this kind of front and center on the main page. So when you come in, if you're looking for information on what's the latest on COVID or that's kind of happening in the community, we're going to try and post most of that here. So whether, and you can view more. So we'll always try and generally do some type of post that'll be on our latest news and events. Again, going down, we developed a parent center. We felt that was kind of important for parents and having a section for where they can go into and then kind of navigate through different areas of the site that would be of interest to them. Of course, Alberta 4-H Center, scrolling down, hope it's not too blurry or going too fast. And of course, the Facebook, Instagram, sponsor information, and then our navigation panes at the bottom as well. So there is quite a bit on the main page to scroll through, but again, through all the feedback and input, it was decided that this is where the bulk of the information would kind of be for welcoming, getting into there. Okay, so the next kind of key piece obviously is for leaders, where there's leader programs, and when we click into there, the idea being this is where if there's any new programs being added, we will add them into here, so that once you click on any type of program, leader sharing platform, or the new development Zoom meetings, once you click in, it kind of tells you obviously the details of the information. If there's registration, you just register back in there. Okay, if we go back out to, there's a key leader section. So I don't know if there's any key leaders on here, but this area is password protected. So you would have the password information. If not, then Tracy or Suzanne or somebody would be the person to look to for getting you that access. Okay. The other main kind of part in terms of search is, as anybody knows with websites, the larger a site becomes, the more difficult it becomes to navigate. So we're always trying to balance that out. So as leaders, as members, as people in the community, we are being asked, can we add this to the site? Can we add more content? Keep in mind, the more content makes it a little tougher to find a home for it that's easy to find and easy to navigate. And as with Google and everything else in the world, search is really becoming the main way. So when I say, we have had some people call in or ask to speak to Tracy or send a message or an email asking about, how do I find this? I'm not sure where it is on the site. And they're, some of us old school are always looking at how do we navigate through the site to that page we're looking for. And my suggestion would be search. So as soon as I click on the little search tool, whatever I type in here, I'm told, I can't find the COVID information. So if I was just to type COVID, here's 28 search results for COVID. So whether it's news articles on here, different posts, events, there's different events that were canceled. I can scroll through to the next page. Here's COVID-19 response resources. These are all links. So as soon as I click on response, I'm going to go to the page where it has the latest information for COVID-19. If as a leader, I was looking for leader programs, search, it's going to come up to the different leader programs that are in there, any place that essentially it's mentioned. So obviously the first link is to the leader programs. We've already been on that page as well, or it could be a post where we posted something in relation to leader programs or something that has to do with it. So again, is the best place to navigate to find anything that you're looking for. You know, have in there the latest scoop. As soon as you put it in there, we should have different places on each of the regional pages. They make a mention of the scoop. So that's why those are showing up as well, or directly to publications. And there we find all the latest information with the scoop, etc. Okay, so as soon as you click in, I just kind of keep going back to that search as a main piece. Leaders, I would say calendar is probably another thing. Tracy, would you not? Is that kind of an area for leaders too? So outside of essentially the leader section, which is where we try to put everything for you here in one spot that's easy to find, search for what you can't find, and then calendar. So under calendar, 4-H has a calendar here that lists all the different events that are going on, and you can separate out by Calgary, by region, or it should have provincial. Now, I will say this is one area that we are kind of working through. We're looking to enhance this right now, but we just had the town hall last night. So if I was go to the calendar and see the town hall, when I click on it, it comes up with the information right here, and as well the Zoom, how you connect. If I clicked on there, that would take me right into the Zoom, and all the details are there as well. Okay, so the events portion, the calendar is also very useful. It's very friendly. And what I'll tell you is you can add events. So you could add all the events into your calendar. You can add to a Google Calendar, or you can do it as an iCal export. So all of these options would give you the ability to basically have it merge into your calendar. So you can have it, you can have all the information for your region downloaded right onto your phone, so you never miss an event as well. So that's where you would do that, is you just do it in the one area there. Okay. Yeah, those are, I think, kind of the main pieces. I mean, of course, the resources download. So leader section we see is kind of about the program, screening, awards, and trips. I feel obviously majority of you, when you're going in to look for information, it would be under the download section. So when we go into resources and downloads, this is where we see things like your club operational tools, and all of these are meant to drop down. You can imagine if we didn't have this like an accordion fold and we had all of these open, this page would get very, very long. And that's the way it used to be on the old site. You could scroll for days just trying to scan through all the information. So again, I think it's a great little feature just to make things a little bit easier to navigate and just look at certain sections here. So if you're a district and you're looking for regional operational tools, you have activity plans in here, communications poster, essentially everything that you think you might need to find under there, communication tools, record project, leader book guide, everything in there as well. Yeah, and then I think as we kind of mentioned, so we've put everything in there, we've been adding things in rather than taking everything that was in the existing site over the last 20 years and throwing everything into the new site. We started kind of working with the idea of saying, let's start with getting as much of the relevant information and everything up to date as we can now. And then as we continue to get feedback from our community, from leaders like yourself, that's where we can start adding in material, or we can search back through the old site information on if it's available. All right. Questions? Maybe I'll stop sharing at this point so we can get everybody back on the screen. And I'll just check the chat box here to see if there's anything. Okay. Yeah, so Stacy Murray can assist with key leader access. Okay, so yeah, that's Stacy would be the contact person for that. So I know it's a lot in a short amount of time, but again, I think if you come away with the understanding that the search, when you use the little magnifying glass up there for the search feature, That should help you find almost everything that you're looking for. And chances are, if you can't find it with the search tool, that it's not on the site. And in that case, then you can reach out under contacts. Here, I'll maybe share quick here, and we'll go to the contacts because that is an important, that's an important page. So anytime, and sorry, just to go back to home, you have a couple different options. You can click on here to go home. Also, we've set it up just if you click on the 4-H Alberta logo, it automatically takes you back to home. So Connect is and we are always updating the site and changing. We're taking your feedback. So one of the things was, when we had this all out even a month ago, we actually added this Connect section in here. We thought, let's actually have it a little bit easier to navigate, to connect, to find a club, to connect to alumni, connect to your publications, your region. So we are taking this feedback and updating all the time. Contact, of course, being one of the main pieces you're going to look for, and this is where you're going to find all the contact information for 4-H Alberta. Okay. So the leadership team, finance, programs and delivery, all the regional coordinators, all through here as well. So I am on here right there. That's me. So if you have a question that's related to the website or an issue or something on here, or perhaps a suggestion of something you'd like to see, Tracy might have other options for where to reach out if you're reaching out through her or through the programs team. Or you can reach out to me directly as well. Just click on this and email if there's something specific or something you're not seeing maybe in the website, and I can try and help you navigate to it or see if we can't add that resource for you. All right, I think that's kind of my time. I didn't want to do that out. I'm gonna see that. Yeah, actually, I did have a question there from Laurie about the venture resources. And actually, Suzanne and I were looking at that today. That is one of the pieces. So yes, we are definitely looking for that now to add that as well. There's 2 pieces we're looking to add. So we will work on that. Some of the stuff didn't come over from the other site, so we don't have as clean of access to it. We kind of have to go through a pretty long process of searching, trying to find it again, and then repost it in some way. So our apologies, but we are aware of that. We are working on the venture out material. Where do you find board info? So board info, if we go to here, so as far as Connect under board opportunities, this is kind of where we had some information on the board that may not be what you're after. Might have to be more specific, and we might be able to help you navigate through that. Anything else there? Entrepreneurship, using resource, perfect. So Unfortunate Learns for now. Yeah, so in that we're adding stuff in on the, on that section as much as we can, but certainly 4-H Canada is still a good resource for that as well. I don't believe we have that fully up yet. I think there's some new information coming for board and board page and process as well, so that we can actually post that. All right, nothing else on the chat. Anything else from anybody? You can either unmute or send it out in the chat. And if not, like I said, if it's something, you can reach out to one of the team or to myself, and we'll try to get answers for you if there's anything else specific.
The quiet bunch tonight, Shane. Everybody's hiding behind their no cameras and their mute button.
Taking it easy on me. I like it. Thank you.
That's right. Next time we'll get you.
All right. Well, thank you for everybody. And like I said, I'm right there on the Connect part, so you can always go into contact if you have something specific for me. Happy to answer any questions or walk you through. As most of you know, I mean, we're I'm also looking after the tech side, so not just the marketing and communications piece. So for setting up Google Classroom, or not Google Classrooms, but setting up the Google G Suite accounts for clubs and helping out with that as well. So if you have something specific to that, how that might work for your club, how we can help you to utilize those tools. I mean, I do believe in the power of it. As we grow, the things we're going to be able to do through Google, through our G Suite accounts and through Google Classroom, and providing resources and sharing and giving, you know, all of the leaders an opportunity to find a place where they can go and share information and you know, help use resources that are there. It's only going to get better, and we're going to be able to continue to provide better tools and access for you guys to work with your members. So I'm excited about what's coming as well. And you know, in the short time we've been putting this together, since really just you know, June of last year is when I came on board to start setting this up. I think we're making some good progress, and always look forward to your feedback to keep improving. All right, so
Perfect. Okay,
that's
thanks,
it for me,
Shane.
Tracy. So
Right.
I will leave you guys to the rest. So take care.
Okay. Good night.
Thanks, Jane.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you very much.
Gotcha.
All right. So now then the next thing that we're going to show you is the online registration system, where we've been asking you to register and look at. But if you're here, chances are you've used the online registration, but Suzanne's just going to go through it. Maybe some stuff that you didn't know, or you can certainly ask questions while we're doing it. So
Tracy, what do you see on the screen? I got two screens going on. I maybe move
so
it.
we see a screening required for each leader's return.
Oh,
Now we
perfect.
see a PowerPoint.
Like my Google Slides is what you see.
Yeah, 4-H Alberta sharing.
How about this? Yes. Okay.
That's the screening required now.
Okay, perfect. So really informal. I'm going to go over a couple things. And like Tracy said, if you're all on here, you've obviously been into the online registration system. And I just wanted to give some tips and hints on where to find some things and what to encourage your members to go in and complete. So on your screen, you will see an email, and I only see a few people on video, but if you're out in Zoom land today, if you could just let us know if you've ever seen this email before. So if you are up for screening, or you are a new leader to our system, you definitely would have received this email or something that's similar, looks like this. It may not say screening required. It may say welcome to 4-H. Screening and training is required. So this here is, I'm going to butcher her name, but I wanna be a leader is her name. And I think Bernadette had fun when she was making me fake profiles, because the names are really fun. And so it would be addressed to the individual leader. So it's not something you can forward off to somebody else and say, hey, I got the screening email, because it is specific to the leader requiring the screening. So as you go through it, you'll see that it says, welcome to 4-H. You need to keep this email for future reference, because if your computer doesn't automatically save your password in the online system, you might want to reference it back for your username and password, because it generates a really funky password that is case and space sensitive. You are able to change that on your profile, but you want to make sure that you keep this email because it is good reference. It also outlines, in the blue links that you see are for some tip sheets on how to navigate the online system. Lots of detailed information on that. Also, the 2 areas that they need to complete for training is, or actually it's 3, but you need to complete your screening and then complete 2 training One is called Abuse Prevention and Duty to Report Training, and the other one is the Youth Safety Training. Youth Safety Training's new this year, but the Duty to Report Abuse Prevention, also known as Commit to Kids, has been around for about 3 years, and every 4-H leader is required to complete those 3 things. It also outlines the screening instructions and then your username and password, like I mentioned before. And then also a little tidbit on how to check your profile and your screening progress. So we'll go to the system in a second here. This one is for a volunteer. Volunteers also can log into the online registration system, as they can register for certain programs or different opportunities, and they also can complete the training and their screening if they would like to. On the website, Shane just showed us that there is a sign-in piece. So my go-to is copy and paste. So I go back to that email and I copy in my username, I wanna be a leader, 3878, and then insert the password there. If you forget your password, this is something that we are looking at maybe improving for our system in the near future, is that it's not quite as quick as Apple ID or Gmail or anything like that. So if you did forget your password, don't do it at the 11th hour trying to sign in and register for a program, because there is a lot of worker bees behind the scenes to assist with that password reset. A few things to know before I jump over to the system is that each year, as a 4-H leader, you want to sign in, and each year you want to make sure that each member learns how to sign in, know that they get a username and password, and also reference that quite often, because that's where they register for, excuse me, all provincial programs and soon to be all regional programs as well. So they'll want to keep that for sure. And leaders also register for all their programs through the online registration system. For leaders, it tracks the training and screening. And general leaders and club registrars can also, they have a few added extra features to make sure they can monitor their club leaders' screening and their projects that their members are registered in. New this year, there was a list of forms, and I'll show you where that is at. And this is why it's important that everybody gets in that habit of signing into the 4-H registration system yearly or monthly or weekly to see what is new. There is a code of conduct. It is signed by the member on their profile. It is tracked. It will need to be done every year. It is also in the new record base book as well. So it's in 2 places this year. We printed it for you, as well as it is on the member profile. We will reference this in the event that there's an incident. We will go back and say, you've signed your code of conduct, and it is a requirement that every member views that, signs it in their record book, and signs on and does it on their profile as well. Because if there is an incident that involves misconduct, we will review that code of conduct with the individuals. There's a program agreement. So that's the famous acronym MAILS. That's the mixed visiting, leaving the boundaries, no alcohol and drugs, inappropriate behavior at the program, and smoking, I think, is the other one. So that you're going to be on your best behavior at the program. When you're registering, you have to fill that one out. The medication permission form is for in-person programming, because sometimes from time to time, members require a Tylenol or something to help them through. The personal health record form is handy at programs to understand allergies or health concerns that the program staff need to be aware of. The 4-H demographic information form is new this year, and it is optional. This is the only optional form that members and leaders have on the system. And this one is information from 4-H Canada because they wanted to better track the stats and understand our demographics a little bit more. So they've asked us to ask questions of our members, and it is optional. You can go through it and pick prefer not to say, or you can answer the questions. They are held confidential. No one sees these. The leader does not see these of the member or the leader. The only people that see that is when we pull the numbers and for the stats that we submit to 4-H Canada, and there's no names associated with those numbers. And the last form there is the all famous waiver form for COVID. So you want to make sure that you go on and sign it. At the beginning, almost a year ago, guys, was the first time that 4-H experienced a pandemic and had to navigate through that. And then the waiver was implemented shortly after, when we started to go back into a little bit of in-person programming. So it's important that that waiver is signed within the online system as well. Please keep in mind that leaders are required and responsible for completing their screening, their youth safety training, and their abuse prevention and duty to report training as well. So a quick overview. I'm just going to stop that share for a minute. And I'm going to go over to the online registration system. And I want to see in the chat if you want to see a member profile or a leader one first. So if you want to just chat, and we'll do a quick informal poll of who wants to see a leader first or a member. Member.
Member.
Leader, member, member, leader. Oh, it's like tied, isn't it, Tracy?
Yes, it is.
We're gonna do them both, so I just wanted to see if everybody.
There's another. Oh, then another member.
Okay.
Oh, let's start with the leader.
Okay, the leader. We're gonna go to I wanna be a leader. Okay, that lady who wants to be a leader. So let's pretend I went to the email. Oh, I'm going to start sharing again. Sorry, guys. So you see my sign-in page? Is that what you see?
Yeah. Helen, we'll answer your question after Suzanne shows this, okay?
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's the first time for even to even chat, so
That's a good. You're doing great, Helen.
Awesome. And you're brave to have your video on too. I'm proud of you. So we would have went to the email and we would have copied the, excuse me, the username, I wanna be a leader, 378, and then I copied and pasted the username as well. So then you click the sign in button and it will take you to the online registration system. So the first thing that will pop up, if you require screening, can anybody tell me how often you require screening now? And it recently changed?
every 3 years.
Every 3 years, thank you. It went from 5 to 3. So this year our screening volume has went up because normally leaders that had 2 more years were up for screening now. So when you sign on, I'm just going to quickly go through this, but you're going to complete the leader application form by answering the questions as best to your ability. I'm just going to put hi or H in all of them. So it goes through, why do you want to volunteer for the 4-H program? What do you feel you can contribute to the program? What would you like to gain from your volunteer experience? And then any experience and training that you may have. And then any relevant courses you can have. If you've taken Commit to Kids with another organization, you could put that in there as well. And have you been denied approval to work with as a leader in a youth organization or to work with young people? So that's not a trick question, but a lot of people, and you can tell that we read every single one of these, because some people do click yes to that they have been denied, and then we do have to look into that and investigate that and get confirmation that that is not true before their application is approved. So you want to make sure that you carefully look at that. When you get to the reference point, I'm just going to put my own email in there, and it kind of populated it in every place. You don't want to do that, but you do have to put it in both sides. So on the reference email 1, on the left-hand side blue box, you're going to take that same email address and put it on the right-hand side. And you're going to have 3 references if you're a brand new to 4-H leader. And then if you are a returning leader, you only need to provide 1 reference. And the system should do that. Sometimes it likes to trick us. If you have 2 profiles in there, it might say one's new and one's not. So if you get 3, just fill those in. And if you get 1, complete that. Then the next section is there is download your police record check form. And I will click on that and open that up. Hopefully my screen changed. This form you'll want to print and take it to your local RCMP detachment. And it outlines what you're doing, that you're a volunteer with 4-H Alberta. And it also has you put in your details to speed up the process there at the detachment. We used to be able to put this on our website, but because of the program that we're enrolled with Volunteer Alberta, we're no longer able to do that. So it's important that you receive that through our system. The next is to submit your leader application form. You read these declaration points, meaning you're going to follow the rules, you're going to take your role seriously, you're going to let us know if things change. You're going to follow the code of conduct, and then you need to complete the requirements of being a leader. So we're going to agree to all of that. Uh-oh. No, there was an error. What didn't I fill in? So it will tell you with this faint pink. If you're colorblind, you might not be able to see that, but it won't let you submit if there is an error. So I'm going to fill that one in and go back to the bottom and try to submit it again. If it's successfully submitted, you will receive this little box that says application saved successfully, and you can hit OK. Once you have done that, there still is a piece that you have to remember to complete your screening. Tell your references they should have got an email from 4-H Alberta to complete, which probably will take them less than 5 minutes to do, as well as you need to submit your criminal record check with a vulnerable sector check in. Those are the 3 components of the 4-H screening process. So the application that we just did, making sure there's 1 to 3 references included, and then also mailing in your criminal record check to be on file. And if you do need that for other activities that you're a part of, we will send that back to you, but you do need to request that. So now on your profile, if you look on the left-hand side, you will see that you can update your leader profile. This is where you can change your password from all those funky letters that the system automatically generates. You can update your birthday if you would like, your address. that sort of thing. View
This-
leader. Oops, sorry.
Sorry, Suzanne, I was just going to say that even if you're an old leader, to make sure that your email address is right, we get a number of requests because you're not getting emails, and it might be because the email address is wrong in your on your contact information. So to just double check your email is a really good thing.
So you got to sign in every year to check that. And if you do change anything here, you want to make sure you hit the save button in the top right hand corner. The next one is the leader summary. So this is what you'll see when you log in. This is, you'll see that I'm part of the 4-H Alberta Advantage Club as a leader. I have 0 positions, 0 projects. I have 0 history, no training, because I wanna be a leader is brand new. So there is nothing updated on there yet. The next one on the left-hand side is very important, and I encourage everybody on the screen to go and check that because it helps our process go a little bit faster. Like I said, every reference, every application, and every criminal record check is reviewed in detail, and it is updated in here. So it'll say leader screening final approval. It says I've never been screened. The next one is leader screening application form. We did that. So it's submitted, but it needs to be reviewed. The screening status is incomplete because we haven't got all those other pieces in there yet. References, it will show you that 3 are required. And then it will, I believe, it might make a liar out of me, but I do believe that it'll show you which references you have as they come in. You will not be able to see what they wrote about you, but you will be able to see the references as they come in. And then the criminal record check that is manually entered on the back end of the system with the date on the criminal record check. So if you send in a date that says October 2020, that's the date that's going to be put in there. We want those record checks to be within the club year and not too far outside of that. So that's really important. If you have a takeaway, encourage all your leaders to sign in and go and check this program. The next one is a reference link. So sometimes there are firewalls and spam, the reference links end up in the junk mail. If that's the case, if Tracy was my reference, I say, Tracy, did you get an email? And if she says no, I can actually send her the reference link to complete by clicking the reference form link. That's the reference form there. I can copy the link and email it to Tracy. So it'll have my name on the top of it. Okay. Then under forms for a leader is the code of conduct. If you open that up, it will give you the code of conduct for 4-H in Canada. This is the same code of conduct used across the country. And you want to, whoa, my visa shows up there. Cool. I don't know why that happened. I don't know if you've seen that. And then when I sign it, it says that I signed it March 10th. I should have signed it, I want to be a leader instead of my own name, because this is her profile, not mine, but I put that in there. So there's the code of conduct. And you'll notice on the left-hand side, it says created March 10th. Or if I haven't done it, it says I'm incomplete underneath. So the 4-H demographic information, I'm not going to read this out. I'm just looking at the time. You're going to select your gender and any of these that apply, official language, and do you consider yourself from a low-income household? And you can fill this form out. You can say prefer not to answer to all of them, or you can put your information in there and remember that it's confidential and no one sees this. And then save the demographic information. and it will populate the date over on the left-hand side again. And then the waiver. I'm not going to read each of these fine print waiver details, but you should go ahead and read it. You do need to initial on the far side. If you haven't initialed one, it will not let you submit it. Remember to read it. Don't just do what I'm doing. And then I would put my name here and I agree to the terms. I would put my email, which is all over the map there, and then save the waiver. So those are the important parts that you need to fill out. If you go back to the leader profile, leader summary, that's where you want to see, where it says training, when your training is updated. So if you do the youth safety training, Stacy Murray monitors that and she will send you a certificate and it will be updated on your profile and it'll say youth safety and the date or the club year that you completed, as well as the abuse prevention duty to report, AKA commit to kids, will also appear there. Okay, the other little tidbit to need to know is when you click on program registrations in the top right, it will come up with all of the things that you as a leader can complete or register for. So the sharing platforms are still open if you would like to register for that. It's a great way to network with other leaders. And the leader development Zoom meetings, this is our last one of the series, but hopefully we're still working on other learning opportunities for leaders as well.
Suzanne, somebody asked before we go any farther, do we need to have a waiver for each family, or is the COVID waiver that members fill out cover their family as well?
So that's on the bottom of it. It said the contact email or the contact person. That's a really good question. You should have one for every registered participant, every registered volunteer and leader that's in the system. And just like the code of conduct, it does apply to everyone that comes to an activity or event. If you're holding an event, which you're not right now, other than club level, participants that are there representing 4-H or you have asked to come should be aware and sign the COVID waiver. And we do have some paper copies for that purpose as well.
Where does one find those paper copies? I have a family that doesn't do anything online. So can I print all these forms for them?
Sure.
Or how can I get them to do that?
So all of them, like the code of conduct and everything. So the code of conduct.
They haven't filled in any of theirs.
Okay. The code of conduct is in their record book. So if they've signed off that, you would need permission to do it on their behalf on the online registration system for sure. Your area coordinator can help you with finding the COVID waiver paper version that you can print. And then if they were to register for a program, so if they were going to go to camp or any program, they would have to fill out the program agreement, the medication permission form, and the health record. And the best is to either open it up for them on a phone and have them fill it out, because there is confidential information in there unless they're okay with giving it to you.
Sounds good, thanks.
Yeah. So I sent in, I switched over member profile. I'm looking at the time and I think I talked too much. So I'm going to go through this quite quickly. This is, can I join 4-H? Look at that name, isn't that awesome? You have to read it out loud in order to get it. So can I join 4-H? So this is the member profiles. It looks very similar to the leader. It will have this is the member summary, and it will have what medallions the member has received, all of the programs that they have been involved in, and if they've completed any training that falls in that category will be there as well. It will have a record, so if can I be a 4-H'er has held a club reporter position or a president, it will show it there in the clubs that they're involved in. So member profile, very similar to a leader. They can change their password here. You want to check the email as well. The member summary, I kind of jumped over that. And then all of the forms. And the member has a few more forms for attending programs. So that's the program agreement form, saying they're not going to break the rules, the medication permission form, and the health record form. And you just have to fill these out once, I believe, right, Tracy? When you go in and you register for your first program of the year, if you complete all these forms, it won't ask you for that.
It won't ask you again once you complete them once for the year. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't complete these, you can't register for a program.
That's right. It will not submit your application. So it does say, I didn't fill them out, so it says action required. Before you're able to register for a program, by clicking the program registration tab, you must fill out all of these things. Okay. But it does list all the programs that this member is eligible for. And while we're there, I'm going to bring your attention to some of those programs that you can register for. There are a few things coming up. Our member activity classrooms, the member development series that went through the leadership pillars with Maddie, wrapped up last Wednesday, which were very well attended and a ton of fun. And those classrooms will be open for a while yet. On March 17th with Barry Uremcio, there is a beef information webinar that members can register for. It will be a very informative night about feed additives and alternative feeds. So all of our beef members or anyone that would like to learn about that topic can join. A new program that was a little bit in the scoop, and just today the senior members will receive an email about, and I heard somebody asking about the Venture Out tools and resources and entrepreneurial project. If you have those members in your club, they're going to want to register for the Trailblazer Discover Your Entrepreneurial Path program. It is for senior members. It's a 6-part, 1-hour webinar series over 6 weeks. It's on Wednesday evenings from 7 to 8. It is free, but there is a ton of perks to being part of that program. There are guest speakers. There will be stuff mailed out to the members. So it's a pretty cool program, and it is sponsored by CPA Education Foundation. And they're so gung-ho to run that program. So it's new. The registration time is a short time frame. So tell all your senior members that that's an opportunity for them, and they can register for it now. So this member could also register for the Northwest Regional Fair or the Northwest Regional Virtual Judging and Consumer Decision Making competition if they are in that region. So that was super quick. If I was to click on the program, it would give me all the program details, how much it costs, when's the deadline, who can attend, and what are you going to do, and then you register now. But it'll kick you back to fill out the forms first. So you got to fill the forms out before you can register. Same with the beef webinar. It'll give you the information that it's free to join, and a little bit about the program. And when you go to register, it'll kick you back to the forms. So complete the forms. One tip is that you want to, for all these free things, you have to click that you're going to call in with a number or that you're going to pay in order to complete the registration. So it's normally our programs are not free, but they have been at a provincial level for this year, or majority of them have. So you need to continue through the payment process as well to confirm the registration. And one last tip before I go back, and Tracy, you can tell me what questions are in the chat there, is that try not to register the night before at midnight of a program, because we do have that manual component with password resets, and we want to make sure that we're accessible to as many members as possible. So if they can register when we can support them, that would be awesome. Or make sure that they contact us right away if they were having trouble getting in there.
Okay, Suzanne, first question is there a way to make adjustments for screened volunteers next year? We had many parents step up, but they were confused as they were also required to fill out this same leader form. There was a couple like that.
So the screened volunteer, yeah, and it says leader at the top of that form. A screened volunteer means that they have to complete the whole screening process. So they do need to do the application, the references, and the criminal record check with the vulnerable sector check in it. That is the screening component. A screened volunteer right now does not have to complete the youth safety training or commit to kids. So we have noted that, Bernadette and I have talked about that it is confusing when it says leader application on there. So hopefully we can get that fixed for the new club year.
And somebody asked, they have a couple of intermediates in entrepreneurship. Is there any chance that they could register just to listen to the?
Call me.
Call Suzanne.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any other questions about either one, either the website or the online registration system? No? Oh, she went back to her. Oh, there's her Trailblazers.
I just shared this Trailblazer and the beef webinar. It's on the website too, isn't it, Tracy?
Yeah.
I had this one open.
The beef information for the beef webinar, is that what they asked?
Yeah.
It's not on the website, no.
Okay.
It's just, it was in the scoop.
Oh, right. And this is in the scoop too.
Yeah. Should you still be getting your members to fill out a paper copy of the registration form to keep on file?
So it is, we will, at the beginning of the year, Shane kind of went over that, it is on the main page of the website. There will always be a paper registration form because the leader is taking that information and transcribing it into the system. So you should make sure that you're holding that information and those papers in a secure place. If you don't have a secure place, then you should shred them with their contact information on it once you have them in the system and your club is approved. Unless you need them for your club contact list or something like that. They will have to fill that out at the beginning of the year still. Hopefully that answered your question, to hand to the club leader. But you want to encourage them because every club leader is a volunteer and they're doing this in the evening and when they have a spare time to do registration. So some email addresses are tricky or mailing addresses are tricky. So you want to encourage your club members as soon as your club's registered to go check to make sure all their information is correct in there. But you don't necessarily have to keep the form after your club's approved.